and gentlemen, welcome to the Tea and Crystals podcast. I am T.
And I'm Kristal.
Ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are so happy to have you all back for another illustrious episode of this here podcast. It's the Halloween edition. Things are finna get spooky, scary. I almost said spiritual, which is ghost in Danish. It's finna get a little ghastly in here. We have some very scary, some freaky shit to share with y'all today. But before we get into all of that, y'all know how I got to start the show. Kristal, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I think I'm over our little tiff last week.
I'm still getting over it.
I
don't know about you. Depending on how the numbers do on the episode, depends on if we can be friends next week.
True.
So
I really need you guys to let us know if that's still a possibility. Even my mom, she heard us recording the episode and she was just like, I heard you guys arguing. It's like, she's like, are you guys okay? Yes, Mom. This is not the end of the Tea and Crystals podcast. Even if we disliked each other, we would still do the episodes and just we would put on the good face, and then when the episode was over, we'd be like, all right, bye. Click.
Right. Instead of end record, we hit end session.
There would be no more pre-show and show meeting.
And speaking of post-show, we had about a good 30-40 minute post-show discussion.
I felt like it was an actual episode, honestly.
It was.
We needed to have recorded it.
We brought in our producer.
Yes.
She pulled up a chair.
She did.
And we talked it out.
We had a nice talk, and she agreed with me, as always.
You know what? I'm going to let you have it. I'm going to let you have it, because we finna be on here for another 45 minutes. And I'm trying to get to the spooky, scary stuff. Speaking of, y'all like our Halloween costumes?
I have a question for you before we get into our scary. What is like your go-to Halloween costume if you get invited to something last minute?
That's a good question. When I was a kid, I was a police officer for many Halloweens. I used to be obsessed with being a police officer. So that's actually the first one that comes to my mind. Maybe a police officer, something magical, maybe a wizard or something like that. One Halloween, I was a pharaoh. Like I like that. Like,
I remember.
In that mystical, mystical lane, like zombie, vampire, ghost, all this. I don't care for that too much. But if it's something magical, that's my lane.
I think my go-to, so when I say go-to, I mean like the easy, like if someone invites me last minute, what's the easiest thing I can quickly put together? For me, that's the Wednesday Adam costume. It's very easy for me to pull out some sort of black collared, white collared dress and then just braid my hair into like pigtails. And I'm Wednesday Addams.
Yeah. I actually suggested that my daughter be Wednesday for Halloween this year, and my wife be Morticia, but she shut that down. So
I think that would be a good costume for you guys one day. Like when you do a family costume, I think that would be a really good one.
You won't see that because I have put the veto down already. I will not be participating in family costumes. I'm not.
Okay.
Whatever. No.
Tell your wife I'll sub in for you then.
You can, because when I say corn on the cob, I can't stand it. I cannot stand it.
Whatever, Grinch.
No knock on y'all girls out there that like. As a man, why do you have on a Halloween costume?
Oh my gosh, seriously? Because it's fun.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Let's not start an argument.
Enjoy. Happy Halloween.
We just start.
As I say that with the Minnie Mouse ears on.
I was about to say, like, okay, hypocrite.
Listen, I'm trying to be festive. The people be telling me, T, you need to get back. T, you need to get. I'm getting in the spirit. Y'all like my lights? You can't even damn see them. They bright as hell. I didn't expect them to be so bright.
You need a dimmer. You need a dimmer light. These bulbs in the background that I have, they're dimmable because I had the same problem when you first put them in. They were so bright and then I had to dim them. They're like very hardly on. But they seem so bright.
Yeah, because I swear they're pumpkins, y'all. I swear they are.
I didn't know that.
I know. That's why
I just thought they were like Christmas lights when you were just like, let's be festive.
No, they're actually little pumpkins, and they so cute.
I see a little bit. I see the black a little bit.
Because I'm trying to do like the YouTube.
Yeah. The YouTube.
Oh, this one you can kind of see. You see his little face, kind of.
Yep. Yeah.
A little bit. Anyway,
I appreciate the effort. All right.
Yeah. So you ready to get into this thing?
Yeah, I believe I'm starting off.
Yes,
so while we do have some scary stories to tell you, I wanted to keep it a little traditional still and go in with an Am I the Asshole story just to get the juices flowing. Oh, before we do that though, for our audience, I would love it if you guys would tell me in the comments, what is your go-to costume of choice? What is the thing that you would go to if someone invited you last minute? Once again, sorry in advance, my dogs will be making an appearance in this episode.
They saw a ghost. Oh my God, they saw a ghost. It's a dog ghost. It's a bone. They saw a skeleton. That's why they're like scared and excited at the same time because they want to chase it, and it's also scary. So they don't know whether to run towards it or away from it. I'm trying to vamp here because I don't know. I want to know what y'all favorite Halloween candy is. Mine personally has always been and will forever be a Reese's peanut butter cup, closely followed by a Snickers. I'll go up for a Snickers, but if you give me a Reese's peanut butter cup in my bag, can I live here? Do y'all have more? Like, did y'all get the like? Especially, don't give me no full size. A full size?
Yes.
With the 2 in there?
Yes.
Don't say it. Give me that. I'm saying don't give me that because I'm finna move in saying. For real.
Okay, because I'm like,
girl, give me a king size. I'm cleaning your carpets. I'm cleaning the gutters. Whatever you need me to do around the house. Okay.
Oh my God.
Give me king size.
That was like a TikTok recently I said where someone was like, what would you do if your wife made $500,000 a year and they wanted you to be a stay-at-home dad? And the guy's like in his robe with a towel wrapped on. He's like sitting there cleaning, everything like that.
You've never seen a man more domestic than me. Okay. What was the song? You got to cook and clean and wash everything. Smile and grin. And
I want to say he was singing a Beyonce song. I just don't remember what.
That check. He was singing a Beyonce song.
Yeah, I think that was the song he was singing a Beyonce. I don't remember what it was.
I'm about to say I'd be in there singing Mary J. Blige, whatever whatever a downtrodden woman sings, I'm singing it. Okay, you gonna come home and I'm gonna find a way to put this little bit of hair in some curlers. I'm finna be whatever you want. Smack me on my ass when you come in the house, okay? Listen.
Okay.
Whatever you need, baby.
Let me try to get through this story before they start up again. I don't even have anyone in here that I can yell at to get the dogs. Okay. This is Am I the Asshole? And it says, am I the asshole for throwing a party for my daughters after they were uninvited? My daughters, 11 and 10, both have purple hair. They love it this way and have been getting it dyed since they were 6, with caution. They were invited to a little girl's birthday party / Halloween party under the condition that they have their hair dyed a natural color. I asked why, and the mother insisted their hair would take away from birthday pictures because they draw attention. I asked my daughters could just not be in the pictures, and she said there's no way to guarantee that and to either dye their hair a normal color or they can't come. All right, Karen. I said fine. This was like October 8th, maybe the 9th. So I decided to throw a party for my daughters on Halloween since they won't be able to go to that one and invited her classmates. The girl was in a completely separate class. We had the party, cake, bounce house, candy piñata, and all that cool jazz. The girls had a blast and I posted a few pictures online. Apparently, this was the wrong move because the little girl's mother saw my post and asked what right I had to steal her daughter's moment from her. Her daughter saw the pictures and was upset she didn't get to come to the party because they didn't have the things that we did. Her mother said I was an asshole for one-upping her just... I'm sorry. Her mother said I was an asshole for one-upping her just because my kids couldn't come to their party and that if I really wanted them there, I would have just dyed their hair. Notes, the invite was on the 8th, as was the hair dye request. It was on Halloween, which was October 31st, not on the girl's like birthday. So it was a Halloween, it was a party, it was a Halloween party on Halloween. And I guess the little girl just happens to also have a birthday on Halloween. And then she said that lady is a completely different tax bracket than me. She had a pony, assorted teas catered, and a wagon ride as well. The party I threw was a Frankenstein bounce house my husband had from a few Halloweens ago, a few piñatas from Party City, like $120 of candy, and about $100 in snacks and some basic carnival games. For those who are wondering what the difference was. Am I the asshole?
Girl, you can kiss my ass. I'm telling you want me to dye my children's hair so they can attend your little crumb crunches party? Girl, fuck you and that baby. I'm not dyeing my girl. You, for one day, you want me to dye their hair back to the natural color for one day of festivities? And then what the fuck am I supposed to do with the rest of the 364 days in the year? Oh, okay. We won't be attending. And I'm shout out to her for throwing that over the ground. We don't have to go. And how dare I throw my children a party after they were essentially uninvited from yours? And that's not my doing. You see how you started this? You know what I'm saying? You see how you were unreasonable to begin with? And instead of me causing the scene, coming down there, talking shit about you at the PTA meetings, putting laxatives in the punch that you bring to the, school gathering so everybody turns on you. Instead of doing little petty stuff like that, I kept quiet and I threw my babies a party and we had a grand old time. And I'm sorry that you're jealous. I'm sorry that you didn't, you decided to have creme brulee instead of a bounce house. That's not my fault.
I was about to say.
Kids they don't give a shit about that stuff, girl. They want to get down here in the mud. We was mud wrestling in the back, okay? Bobbing for apples. Come on.
It's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, don't be mad at me because you spent all this money on like ponies and wagons and all this stuff, and your kid wanted to come down to the $200 bounce house that we threw. So sorry.
Right.
Maybe next time don't dictate what kids can and can't look like for a party. Especially on Halloween.
Party.
On a Halloween party. I get it was her birthday party, but this was also a Halloween because it falls on Halloween. So if anything, their hair would be more in theme than ever.
The way that lady wouldn't have even gotten a response from me. I would have seen that message. It would have been grand opening, grand closing.
Exactly.
She would have heard nothing else from me. I would have told my children, y'all can play with this little girl at school, but outside of school, unless it's a school sanctioned program or trip, we won't be socializing. We won't be social. Unfortunately, because her mom and daddy, they're crazy as hell. And I don't have the time for it, and I don't have the energy for it, okay? Because before it gets right, it's finna go left. Okay, we'll leave it there.
Not the asshole.
Not even a little bit.
Not even a little.
You ain't even spread the cheeks. Okay, you ain't even ass crack. You understand me? All right, Kristal, you ready to get into the spooky, scary of it all?
Yes, I'm so excited.
I wish I had the voice of the man. What was his name? Richard Pryor or Richard something? The one that did the voice for Thriller.
Oh, I'm not sure what his name was.
Oh,
yeah,
Vincent Price. Was it Vincent Price? No.
We'd have to look it
I
up.
can't remember shit.
Either that one or the narrator who used to do the show. Well, he wasn't. He was a host because you could see him. But he used to do the show for Unsolved Mysteries. I always thought he had a good. It was in the 90s. It was in the 90s.
You know me and scary stuff. I don't.
That's true. It did. For anyone who did watch Unsolved Mysteries, not the ones that's currently on Netflix, it's a completely different. But the ones from the 90s, the guy itself, like he was always so serious, and he had like a nice deep voice that would narrate the things that you were seeing. And the stories themselves weren't always spooky. I mean, it was unsolved mysteries. So sometimes it was about someone who had disappeared or a murder that had happened or something like that. It wasn't necessarily a scary story, but he was the perfect persona for it.
Okay. I don't think I have the register to be spooky. I can't get that deep.
No.
Hey.
I'm just saying. You're more like my mom says, like when she first started hearing our podcast for the first time and she heard your voice like in a mic, just audio, she was like, he sounds like a late night like love doctor. Like that's the voice he has. It's not scary, it's seductive.
Oh, well, let me tell you something. If they were to put me on a Quiet Storm,
yeah, you
I would
said
smoke
that
a pack
before.
of cigarettes before every recording just to get that gravel in my throat. Anyway, let's get spooky.
Okay.
So this one comes to us from the subreddit r/short scary stories. Say that 6 times fast. And it is entitled, My Fiance Killed Our Son. Today, I found out why. Here we go.
Oh my God.
Here we go. It all happened so fast. My fiance and I were sitting on our couch. I'd only proposed the night before, but she was already planning guest lists and cake arrangements. Our baby Thomas snoozed in his bassinet. All seemed normal. As we discussed venues, she suddenly froze mid-sentence. She had a strange look in her eyes, half confusion, half desperation. She began shaking. When I asked her what was wrong, her lips struggled to form words over chattered teeth. Cold. It was Arizona in July. Nothing seemed to warm her up. By then, she was doubling over, clenching her stomach in agony. She repeated one word over and over again. Hungry. Thomas began crying. Something was very, very wrong. I ran to the bedroom to get my phone. She needed an ambulance. But from the next room, a sharp cry and a sound sounding like snapping twigs. I saw my fiance holding Thomas's limp body in her arms, blood everywhere. She was eating him. What have you done? I screamed. She didn't seem to notice or care. I tried to wrench him from her grasp, but she only howled. Food! Food! Her grip around his legs like iron. I ran for my gun. I didn't know what else to do. This was 15 years ago. The case made national headlines. Suburban psycho eats child. The overwhelming silence of an empty house was deafening. Eventually, I threw out all of her belongings. I only kept her engagement ring. We found it hiking in the Sierras just before we learned that she was pregnant. A tarnished gold band inscribed with the initials TD. Very old. I couldn't bear to part with it. She always wanted to know where it came from. Recently, I let a historian friend of mine do some digging. He called me, talking very rapidly, clearly ecstatic. As he spoke on speakerphone, I slipped the ring over my finger and began recording the call. I wanted to preserve this, to honor her memory. Hi, Mike. I have something special. As he went on, my hands felt strangely numb. Based on appearance, I'd estimate the ring to be mid-19th century. I turned up the heat. I couldn't seem to get warm. Based on location, I think it was lost by a settler coming over the mountains. I'd never been so cold in my life. The phone began to tremble. I was so hungry, my stomach turning in the nuts. As for the initials, I know who it is. If so, I think we've solved a real historical mystery. So hungry. Never warm again. Needed food, needed to survive, needed meat. I didn't hear myself drop the phone or walk into the street. He continued breathlessly to the empty room. I think TD is Tamsin Donner. Her husband was the leader of a group of pioneers called the Donner Party. From outside, a muffled scream. Her body was never found.
And you say you don't have the voice right. That was really good.
Girl, I had so much fun with that.
That was awesome. You know what? It's funny though, because there was a story that I had planned to read that was similar. In the fact that a child was like killed, and I was like, no, I can't do that. It's too dark.
Listen, because I almost didn't do it.
Right.
I almost didn't do it, but the story was just so compelling. I was like, oh my God, I got to share this. Like,
I know there's a couple of stories on Reddit that I really, really wanted to. And if we had thought of it in enough time, I probably would have reached out to the creators and asked them if I had permission to do it.
yeah.
Because they specifically stated in their profiles they don't want it, that you need permission from them. They're asking if you would ask permission.
Yeah.
But they were just really good, really spooky stories. But yeah, the one that I was going to read originally was called like My Husband's Cheating on Me and I Know It. And she goes on and talks about how, you know, he's never seemed so happy. Everyone keeps complimenting about how they've never seen him so ecstatic and yada yada. And she's just describing his mood and how it changed from one day to suddenly being amazing. And then she talked about how she got rid of the other girl and she was so thankful that she was still so little.
Okay.
And she's basically talking the story, like you would have to read the story to understand it, but it's basically saying that the mother was jealous when they had their daughter because he was so happy to be a father and this little girl was taking his attention. And
so that little bitch had to go.
That's what she said. So I was like, God. I'm not gonna do that one. That's a little dark.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Then you did yours, so
Kristal's like, oh, that's what type of time we on.
That's what type of time we're on. Okay. Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a really good story.
They did great.
You did a great narration of it. The trembling voice, the cold. I thought it was really good. I really wish we were telling these stories and I was like in a dark room to really give me a feel of it.
Girl, I literally, as I started reading it, I was like, it should be dark in here. It should be dark. So for the rest of these stories, y'all, turn the lights off.
I know, get right?
Get spooky, get scary.
Get scary. Like put some like music. Put some music in the background. Either music, no, put a thunderstorm in the background. Crackling fire. You know, if you have Apple TV, put it up on your TV, turn all the lights down. They have those videos where it's just one picture. Set the mood.
Make the whole house dark and leave your door open. I'm getting scared just think about it. Oh my God.
I'm glad you brought up actually the story that it was set in Arizona, because for those of you who don't know, you know, we had to do some mini episodes recently because I had gone on a kind of impromptu cross-country road trip. Long story short, my dad was moving from California over here to where we are on the East Coast, and he had two vehicles, and he drove his SUV with a big trailer all the way across to us about a month and a half ago or so. And when he got here, he was very tired, very exhausted. He really didn't pay any attention to himself, take care of himself. And we were just so grateful that he had made it in time. Like he had made it to us, not in time, but like made it to us in general, because my dad is a little bit notorious for nearly falling asleep at the wheel. When I was little, we went on many road trips and I often learned to stay up to make sure that he always stayed awake. So when I found out after he got here that he had to go back to California because he was unable to figure out something to do with his car in order to get it over here. Like my brother was originally supposed to go out and drive it back, but that didn't happen. And then he was going to ship it out. That didn't happen. So he was going to go out and drive it again. I was really worried. My mom volunteered me essentially to go with him and go on this cross-country road trip. And I was a little hesitant. It had been so long since I had been on such a long road trip, but we decided to make the best of it. We decided that since we were going to do it, we were going to make it fun. We weren't going to rush to get back to the East Coast. So we decided that we were going to visit places. We took the southern route and we visited the Grand Canyon. We went to Tombstone, Arizona. We went to Roswell, New Mexico. We went to Santa Fe.
With the aliens?
Yeah, with the aliens. And then we finished our like sightseeing in Memphis with Graceland. And then by then we traveled straight home. So it took a week.
That's my kind of carrying on.
And we did. It was fun. The Grand Canyon, beautiful. Absolutely breathtaking. Would love to go again. I can't wait.
Was that the Grand Canyon?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Gorgeous. And
then I also took some with my nice camera. So I plan to edit those and show it to you guys. Beautiful. Tombstone was really fun. For those of you who don't know, my dad is a huge history buff. Loves especially Western type, cowboy type stuff. And so Tombstone, if you guys don't know, back in, I don't know when it happened. Don't make me lie to you. But there was a movie called Tombstone with like Kurt Russell and like Val Kilmer and stuff like that. And it's basically about Wyatt Earp and his brothers and a shootout that happened between him and like a couple of other cowboys. The shootout itself lasted like 30 seconds, but it went down in history and there was a whole movie about it. And so the Tombstone town is based off of that history and it really plays up the movie because I think the movie was actually shot there too. So that was a really cool place. It was really fun to get to my hotel, my inn in Tombstone, and to be faced with the fact that not only was there coyotes around, we got to the hotel at like midnight, and as soon as I opened the door, all you hear is like very clearly coyotes, and there was multiple of them, and they sounded close. And I was I was like, Dad, we gotta go. Like, we gotta get into our rooms now. Because like we were frozen when we stepped out. We were like, how close are those? I'm like, and there's bushes all around us. I'm like, let's just go. Let's just grab our stuff and let's just go. Like, I don't know if they're on the other side of these bushes or what. Got into our hotel. When I went over to my bed, I had a nice little sign that let me know, hey, don't forget, friend, you're in the desert. Don't leave your windows open. If you get into bed, right before you get into bed, make sure you give it a little shake, give it a little look through, because you're in the desert. And we have these nice little critters, spider-like critters who like to be a little mischievous, and they might crawl in your bed sometimes. They're scorpions. And so make sure you look through your bed. If you're going to put your shoes on, make sure you give it a little shake. If you get up in the middle of the night, make sure you have a flashlight. Like, always be looking down, because you never know. And if something does come into your room, just let us know. We'll take care of it. I was like, what?
When you text me that, I was out somewhere and I literally said, I was like, scorpions. And my wife was like, what are you talking about? I was like, Kristal just said that it might be scorpions in her room when she go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I was tripping for you.
I was so paranoid. I mean, patting down, looking under furniture, so paranoid. But yeah, the trip was fun. It made me realize just how much I really, really enjoy road trips. I love them. And I loved seeing all these places. The drive itself was lovely. We were hardly on any busy highways. Like, it really felt like we were taking back road type highways. So oftentimes we were either have very few cars on the road with us, or it felt like we were the only ones on the road. But yeah, it was great. And it was a fun time with my dad. Many memories. Loved it.
That is nice. That is so nice to hear. I want to do that one day as well. I want to take a cross country trip. I don't know if I'm going down south, because I'm not.
I mean, if you want to go to the Grand Canyon, that is in the desert.
I might have to figure out a way to go to the Grand Canyon and then go far, far away. That's going to have to be a drive-through situation. I'm not staying in nobody's desert. I'm sorry.
I think you just have to like probably find a hotel that like you go into. Like these hotels that we were at in Tombstone, there was no mainstream hotels. They were all inns. They were mom and pop type things. And they were I think they were all like ones you could like drive your car up to the door type inns. So if you found like a hotel where you can like go in, then you're probably better off with not having to worry about finding a little critter in your room.
Okay. Because that's one reason why I will never visit Australia. Baby, they could be like, it's $1 million here just waiting on you. As soon as you get off the plane, it's right. I'm not going.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I can't do it. I am so scared of spiders and them bugs and stuff over there. They say the mosquitoes is the size of the palm of your hand. I can't. I want to burst into tears right now just think about it. I can't do it. Well, I'm so glad you had a good time, Kristal. That's a blessing to be able to do that and spend some time with your dad.
It was.
Kind of on the other side of the spectrum from that just lovely, wholesome story. I too was out and about while we were on our hiatus that y'all didn't even notice because y'all got the mini souls that y'all cussed us out about. I went to Berlin to go see Janet Demeter Joe Jackson. This is my second time seeing Janet in concert. We had a fantastic time. The trip, we took the train there. Okay. It was about 7 hours on the train with a switch in Hamburg. And it was actually really relaxing. I was a little nervous because I was like sitting on the train for 7 hours, but it was spacious. I
was about to say, yeah. If really anything, nice. I would enjoy a train ride. You get to get up and move around. Like
I'm like, I could do one of those cross-continental ones, like the ones in the US or Canada.
For sure.
I could do that because it was really, really comfortable. And I got to read one of my books. I had enough time between the 14 hours to finish, the book. So it was really nice. Let's talk about the concert.
Okay.
So the hotel we stayed at was really, really funky, really fun. It was like a music hotel or whatever. So it really got the vibes going, whatever. It kind of seemed like the hotel room, there was a lot of glass. So it looked like, it was a perfect place to do cocaine. Like it had one of those mirrored tables. And I was like, somebody that it's been a lot of hookers, whores, and drugs done in here. That's what it felt like.
Okay.
I'm not shaming. I'm not shaming. I'm just saying hookers and whores. So we went on to the concert, and once we got there, we went to get a drink. We was like, okay, let's stop by the toilet. Let's get a drink. Let's go sit down. So we had a couple drinks getting ready, maybe like 2 or 3 drinks getting ready, small ones, over the course of getting ready. So we were like, we're gonna have a little drink here. I got me 2 little shots. When I say shots, y'all don't think about a bar shot. These things was teeny tiny. They were like the thimble ones that you pay like $8 for, something ridiculous. So I got me 2 of them because I was like, all right, this is going to be it for me for the night. I'm going to chill. So we go in and I'm expecting, the show was supposed to start at 7:45. I'm expecting Janet. I didn't hear anything about an opening act. To our surprise, Wyclef Jean comes out. Rocks from the Fugees.
Yeah.
Rocks I'm shook. Like my wife I damn near fell over because I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
He did amazing. So I'm in the middle of it all. Like I'm going up. I'm elevated. I took my 2 shots back to back. Boom, boom. Let me concentrate on Wyclef. He was on there for a good 30, 40 minutes. So after that, there was another intermission. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let's go to the restroom and get another drink while, the intermission, because obviously it's going to be a lot longer than we thought we were going to be here tonight. So I go to the bar or whatever, and I asked the girl, I was like, hey, can I get a whiskey and Coke, make it a double, just so I don't have to come back.
Yeah.
So what I saw was her go behind the counter, and at the moment she went to pour the alcohol into the cup, my wife came back from the restroom. So I looked at her and I was like, oh, we conversing, whatever. I didn't know at this time that my wife was watching the girl make the drink, right? This will come into play later. So when she comes, I see her come back around and then pour the soda on the top, but I caught her in the middle of pouring the soda. So all I saw was her start to pour the alcohol. And then when I saw her again, she was filling it up with soda. Mm-hmm. She gave it to me. She only charged me for a single.
Okay.
And this was a big cup, like bigger than this glass, tall cup. So I'm hyped. I'm like, Cass, like, thank you. Like, you and me must never part, girl. Like, we see we got an eye, right? She's like, you having a good time? Yeah, whatever. So we go back to our seats. Janet comes out. I'm sipping on my drink, having a good time. Do. So we get about to the middle of the show. And I noticed, like, I'm trying to film, but like when I lift my arm up, my equilibrium is like off. And I'm like leaning a little bit. And I'm like, what the fuck why am I feeling like this? Like, what is happening? So this is when I knew I was in danger. Y'all remember the speaking of Halloween, y'all remember the movie Ghost, where Whoopi Goldberg's like, you in danger, girl. She was behind me because I was in danger, right? So this is when I knew shit went left for me. I went to take another sip of that drink. Mind you, I didn't even drink when it was all said and done. I don't even think I drank half of it. I went to drink it, and some way, somehow, this shit got caught in my throat, and I coughed. Now, mind you, I thought I coughed into my hand until I saw the woman that was standing directly, like, kitty corner to me, kind of jump. And so Kristal, take yourself off mute.
I'm sorry, my dogs were barking.
Oh, you good? Because I ain't want these people to think I'm crazy.
All right.
So I saw her jump, and I'm like, okay, I didn't pay attention to it at first, right? So then the lights changed in the room, and I see her whole left side of her back is soaking wet.
Oh no! Talk about a scary story.
Kristal, I soaked that lady from her neck down to her ass. Like, I soaked her up. She didn't even look at me. Like, because she was there by herself. I felt so bad. But I was so intoxicated at this point that I was like, I have to ignore this. I'm not going to be able to, and I'm in a foreign country. I'm not going to be able to apologize to her the way that I want to. So I'm just going to pretend it didn't happen. So I put the drink down. So we come to the end of the show. Girl, I am fucked up. And it hit me so fast. Like in the last half hour of the show, it was like, Falcon punch. Like,
oh my God.
It hit me. So we go to leave, right? And I'm wobbling. And my wife hadn't noticed until the lights came up when we was leaving. And she was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I was like, I don't know. So I had left my jacket behind. She had to come in and get my jacket. I'm moseying my way up the stairs. The staff is looking at me like, you had a good time, didn't you? So, girl, we get outside. I'm obliterated. I look at my wife and I'm like, we can't go nowhere. I need to eat now. Like, I need food. I need to eat. Luckily, there's a Five Guys right across the street from the arena. This is how you know I'm drunk, because I don't eat beef. Mm-hmm. So, but I wanted that burger now. So we go into order, right? The man behind the counter, everything is bright. I'm obliterated. Everything is bright. We talking to the man, telling him what burgers we wanted. He asked us what condiments. This solidified the night for me. This is me verbatim. I want mayonnaise. I want ketchup. And I want mustard. Don't forget the mustard. It was like, okay, sir. Like, I sat down, I had my burger. We went back to the room. I think I passed out before my head made contact with the pillow. Kristal, I woke up the next morning feeling like nothing happened. I was good. And I looked at my wife and I was like, what? She was like, did you not see that lady make your drink? And I was like, what you mean? I was like, yeah, she made my drink. And my wife was like, no, your drink was half alcohol, with Coke on top.
With a
And I
splash
was
of
like,
Coke.
what? And she was like, yes. Did you not see her? She tilted the bottle upside down and poured the rest into the glass. And I was like, no, why didn't you tell me? And she was like, I thought you saw. Kristal, if I had drank that whole thing, you would have been coming on here. I just want to announce the passing of our beloved T. He didn't make it back from Germany. And but yeah, girl, that was
that's
my
a Kristal
time
pour.
with Janet. Girl, okay.
That's a me pour. For any of you guys who don't know, there was a small point in my life where I did bartend at the place that we shall not name. And I don't drink. I don't particularly enjoy drinking, and it just seems to affect me a lot worse and more quickly than most people. So I just don't partake in it. Therefore, I don't really understand the dynamics of alcohol too well. And by that, I mean, I don't get why you would pay $8 for these little tiny shots. So when people would ask for drinks for me and I would make their drinks, I'd be like, why is that so little? You're paying $13. Here you go. There you go. We're going to fill that to the top. Same thing with wines. God, this wine is like $14. Oh. You want me to put that much in? We're just going to fill that up to the rim. There we go. There you go. I have a very heavy hand when I pour. Mm-hmm. But yeah,
we appreciate you for it, Kristal.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm. Your Berlin trip sounded like a scary good time.
Girl,
I'm glad your wife
was a good time.
Was there for you, was with you.
Oh, because if it weren't for her, I may whatever river that is that runs through, I would have been in it. I would have walked right past the wall and been in that river. They would have found me down the stream somewhere. Yeah, it was a good time though.
That's true.
You ready to get spooky again, Kristal?
Yes, I have my short scary story. I also found mine in the short scary stories subreddit. Excuse me. So this one says, I should have read the reviews. My girlfriend moved out 3 weeks ago. My cat Rook was really close to her, and now that she's gone, I can tell he's a bit lonely, especially when I'm at work. I came home a few times to my curtains ripped up or all the toilet paper in shreds. The last straw was when I came home after working late to find he had clawed a hole the size of a dinner plate into the side of the sofa. I decided I had to do something. I tried different toys, even catnip, but nothing worked. One night, while browsing Amazon, I saw a pet camera. It's a tiny camera that records your pet on a live feed so you can monitor their behavior while you're away. It even has an audio function so you can talk to them. Sounded silly, but hey, I love my furry dude, so I bought it. I got overnight shipping and installed it immediately. I decided to set it up in my bedroom, as that was where Rook dwelled most. My first day at work, I think I checked the camera 30 times. When I spoke into the microphone, Rook seemed to be happier, and I noticed there was no destruction around the house either. By day 4, I figured I'd solved the problem with Rook. That leads me to right now. About 30 minutes ago, I climbed in bed with Rook, ready to close my eyes, when my phone buzzed. A notification from the cat cam. I almost ignored it. Sure, I just triggered the thing, but I opened it anyways. What I saw made my grip tighten on the phone. Instead of a video of myself in bed, I saw a man, tall, gangly, with pale skin and large eyes. He was moving into my room with exaggerated steps, like a sneaking cartoon character. He got right up to the lens, so close I could almost smell his rotten breath, and he smiled. I immediately paused the video, terrified. I looked at the spot where the man should have been standing, but there was no one there. I went onto Amazon and found the pet cam and read the reviews, hoping for some weird glitch. It had to be a joke, right? The first dozen reviews were pretty standard, but it was the last one that caused me to bolt upright. The customer complained that the camera was on a time delay, sometimes as much as 15 minutes. I went back to the video and pressed play with shaky fingers. I watched in horror as the man slithered under my bed, giving the camera a wink before disappearing in the darkness. Then I saw myself enter the room and climb in bed before the video ended. Now I'm sitting in my bed, knowing he's under it. I could call the police, but I doubt I'd have time. So please do yourself a favor and read the reviews.
Ooh, wee! I'm over here scared for real. I'm over here scared. My heart is over here beating. Oh my God. Whoa. That's so scary as shit. Do you? I would. I think I would just hold my breath, put my pillow over my face and hold my breath. Like, I'm taking me out. Ain't no way. I can't go through this. Like, you gonna wink at me, bitch?
Right.
I
would think about it though, because you're on day 4 with this camera. I'm wondering if the cat has been acting up because of this person. So they haven't done anything yet. Maybe I could play this off. Maybe he doesn't realize that I just saw him and I know he's under there. I absolutely.
Okay, this is a man that wrote the letter.
I don't know, actually.
Let's assume it's a man that wrote this letter. And you don't, even if it's a woman, you just got to beat your meat. Beat your meat.
No, I think this is a girl. So this is actually
girls can beat their meat too.
Malia Girl 1314. Malia Girl 1314.
When I say get the DJ scratching, okay, freak him out. He gonna be like, "Oh, this nasty bitch."
Either that, or because she's a woman, he's gonna be like, "Yes."
I mean, it could buy you some time.
No.
I'm just saying,
I don't think that's the answer.
By the time he get up there, he gonna be distracted, and you can dial 911. That way, even if he do come to get you, the police are on their way. Okay. Negotiation tactics.
I think I would have at least dialed 911 and just not said anything, just because they'll track it. So I'll just dial. They're not going to know. They're not going to know. He's not going to know. I just dialed 911. So I'm just going to pretend I'm going to move him around so he thinks that he knows I'm still awake. I'm going to be talking to my cat. Maybe I'll dial 911 and talk to my cat and be like, "Okay, yes, you're a good kitty. Don't worry. We're in our house. It's dark." Like, I'd be trying to feed information without it seeming like I'm feeding information. Like, I think that's what I would try to do. To play it off in hopes of buying time.
I don't know what the fuck I would do, Kristal, in a situation like that for real. Somebody under your bed. And I'm laying in this bitch like,
That's why there's so much stuff under my bed that's not possible.
Yeah, mine as well. You have to fight your way up under there, okay? If you get under there, I'm low key gonna dap you up. Like, damn, I think you work for it. Go ahead.
You got under there.
Let me just make this real clean. Here you go. You earned this one.
Honestly, anyone and there's a couple of people in the comments who were like, "That's why my bed is on the floor. There is no under the bed."
Oh yeah.
All right.
No, I'm not going to judge these people. Never mind. No,
don't judge these people.
Sorry. So I don't know if you all remember from last week, things got a little spicy. And I didn't get a chance to share the update from last episode. So I'm going to do that now for you also. We have closure for the story. If y'all don't remember, quick 2-line recap. There was a young lady, her and her boyfriend were together for 3 years. He had a best friend. She met the best friend. The best friend essentially paid her dust. And when they met up in social settings, she would always pick at her, try to embarrass her in front of a group of friends and stuff. Told her boyfriend low-key denied it, got defensive. She thinks they have some type of thing going on or had some type of thing going on. They, deny it. So we were at the point where the young lady really didn't know what to do. She needed some advice. She was feeling like she was at a crossroads, like it's either her or me. So she gave us this update and she says, "A few days ago, after a lot of tearful soul searching, I decided the best thing for me would be to walk away from the relationship. I sat my boyfriend down and talked to him about it. I explained that I always felt like the third wheel in my own relationship and that for my own happiness, I didn't want to be in a relationship that made me feel that way anymore. I gave examples to him that I did in my original posts, such as the lack of boundaries with Nell. Nell is the best friend. and his disinterest in standing up for me whenever she mocked me. I also said that my trust in him had been eroded to the point where I felt unsure of what I really was to him. I told him I still cared about him and wanted him to be happy, but that I wanted to be happy too. My boyfriend sat silently for a while before asking, "So you're jealous of Nell?" I felt like he barely processed anything that I had just said. And when I tried clarifying, he got defensive and told me that he was allowed to have female friends. I could tell he wanted to turn it into an argument. And since my mind was already made up and I said what I wanted, I ended the conversation and he played a computer game and acted like I wasn't there as I packed my things and left. I've been staying at my best friend's, who is amazing and always so supportive. My family has been amazing too, rallying and talking to me, taking me out for little meals and stuff. I even got one or two sweet messages from my boyfriend's friends saying that they were sorry and that they fully understood my point of view, which is interesting. I imagine that would have been the end of it, but the next morning I woke up to messages from a number that I didn't know. It was Nell. I honestly didn't think she'd contact me, so to see walls and walls of texts in my inbox was a shock. Let me run down some of the things she said. She repeatedly insisted that she never bullied me and that she had no idea where that came from. She said I always seemed cold towards her, so she tried to make little jokes to break the ice. Openly mocking someone is an interesting method, but I digress. Lastly, she told me that I was making things up by suggesting that she ever had a thing with my ex. They were just friends. She finished with a passive aggressive apology that I'd ruined my own relationship by being jealous and listening to voices in my head. I didn't respond to her venom or try to get the last word. I know she wanted to repeat her tried and true method of hitting out at me and enjoying my reaction, so I didn't give her one. I've been focusing on other things to start building my self esteem and happiness back. My ex has not tried to contact me since I left, and I'm glad. Frankly, I think him and Nell are perfect for each other. I'm well and truly done with this, and I'm so excited for new things in my life. So, to end things, I want to thank everyone for their messages, and I finally feel that I'm making myself the priority, and it feels pretty great. Shout out to you, girl.
Honestly, good for you. I'm really glad you recapped that because I totally forgot about the story. We had other things that we were focused
Yeah,
on
took
that
precedent.
episode.
Hmm.
Yeah, I this was the perfect response because I think she knew, like, people, I know there's people out there that truly believe if you have a best friend that's of the opposite sex and they weren't in a relationship previously and they get into a relationship, somehow, some way, that friendship has to be diminished because it's disrespectful to the partner. But I believe, because I experience it. Like, me and Timmy are really good friends. He's always been in a relationship since I've known him. And we have never, it's never once felt like an attraction or anything like that. Like, I
Hmm.
never, I don't know, like, it's hard for me. Like, if you're truly friends with someone, it's hard for me to imagine that friend not understanding boundaries in some way, like, just
Right.
instinctively, you know? So the fact that this
Hmm.
girl is trying to essentially gaslight you, um, to me shows that I don't necessarily know if there's something going on. For me, what it's reading is that he does have some sort of crush maybe on this girl, and she absolutely does not. But she does like the attention he gives her.
Bing, bing, bing,
And
bing.
she doesn't want that attention to be taken away from her. So maybe she does get jealous when his attention is on something else that isn't her, even though she doesn't want them romantically. She still wants them to be focused on her. Um, and, because of that, he's never going to defend you because secretly he does want her. I think you did exactly right. I don't think there was any other way to go about it. And the fact that he didn't really put up a fight, he really just doesn't seem to care. Like, you telling him it's over was just like another night, like another hiccup, like whatever. He went right back to playing his video games, like whatever. I'm not really
and
losing
ain't
out.
hit you up since.
Ain't hit you up since.
Didn't even try to reconcile.
No.
Like, he was like, word.
Right. And still try to switch. Oh, it's your jealousy that is holding you back from this relationship. To me, it's like, but do you even want this relationship? Like, do you want me? Do you like me? Like, what about me is making your life better in any way that makes you want me to stay? If you can't even answer those simple questions. So, yeah. And I'm good on you, because I would have been arguing with that girl. I'm like, you know what?
Right. And
I would have been
her
arguing.
messages, like, that just goes to show he went immediately to her.
Like,
he wasted no
time.
He didn't even try with you.
No.
And he went to her immediately and told her all of his feelings.
Yes, everything that you said to him, he told her. So another boundary, you're never going to have privacy in your relationship, because no matter what you say to him, he's going to tell her.
Yep.
So good on you for
nixing that.
Yes. All right. I'm glad for that update. Thank you so much for that. To close out our little Halloween episodes, we're going to go. I have a couple of things from Reddit. So while looking for some stories, I did come across this post. It was from the subreddit Ghost Stories. It says, please share some real scary stories that happened to you. So these are allegedly real. And one of the comments said, I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I call it the mimic. When I was 17 for almost a whole year, almost every time my mom and sister were out of town for the day shopping and I was home alone, I'd hear it. Keys jingling in the front door, the click of the lock, the scrap of the door sliding open and closed as the dogs rushed to the front door, barking to greet whoever just came home. I'd hear my mom or sister tell the dogs to stop and that they live here, and the dogs would stop barking and go about their business. I would get up, go to say hi, and help out things any way I could, and nobody would be there. It stopped happening once I started staying in bed and calling my mom to see where they were instead of getting up to greet them. Once, after my mom had surgery, she was staying at her parents' place for a few weeks to heal. I brought my dog for a walk, and when I came home, my mom's dog, who was sleeping in her room, started barking. I heard my mom tell her, "Shelby, stop barking." And after a few more barks, she listened and stopped. I ran to my mom's room to say hello. I hadn't seen her in a few weeks at that point and didn't know she was coming home, but her room was empty. I still don't know what it was or why the dogs listened to this disembodied voice. I don't know why it was stealing my family's voices. A lot of other shit happened at that apartment, from knocking in the walls to claws scraping down my closet door. This is 100% true. Has anyone experienced something similar?
Hell no. I need an exorcism over the house. I need sage. Matter of fact, we may need to level this building. We may need to dig up under here to be like, what spirits are down here that's toying with me? You ain't no way in this world. I don't care if I'm the child or not. I'm going to find somebody to live with. I can't live in no place where I'm like hearing my family and they not here multiple times. And the animals are reacting. Once the animals start reacting, baby, it's time to go. It's time to go. Because they feel it and they see it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're my gateway to let me know, all right, shit is wicked in here. Let's get our stuff. Let's go.
That story was from Single Mom 24-1. Someone commented on her story. And this person, hefty_solid1915, said, I had a mimic experience. I know. They said, I had a mimic experience. Here's my story. So when I was a teenager, my twin sister and I lived in the basement of my parents' house. The basement had kind of a smallish apartment that we slept in. It was pretty neat. We also had our dog Lucy down there staying with us. Anyway, I was woken up by, but I was like, sorry. But one night, my twin and I slept upstairs instead of the basement. Lucy, our dog, was downstairs. Anyway, I was woken up by our mom in the morning. She asked me, "Hey, were you guys just downstairs a couple of minutes ago?" I just said, "No, Mom, we slept here last night. We haven't been downstairs." She then left, and I got out of bed and followed her in the dining room and asked her, "Why did you ask if we were downstairs?" Then she said, "I heard your voice say, 'Be quiet, Lucy.' My mom also said when my voice spoke, Lucy would growl and bark. Then my voice would get louder and say, 'Be quiet, Lucy.'" That day, my mom and us girls went into the basement with the Bible. Our mom read aloud from the Bible. Then I picked up a cross on the countertop. Then I placed the cross on the countertop. The next morning, the cross was on the floor.
Girl, why would you go down there tempting that demon like that? Why are you playing like that? No, this is for the professionals. You don't know. Next time you touch that cross, you going to absorb that demon. Lord have mercy. You don't go down there testing him. He gonna grab onto your pant leg. He coming up into the house. He was trapped down there in the basement. Let that nigga be down there. Oh, y'all get on my nerves. Oh, I'm scared for real. It's dark.
And you gotta go to bed.
My wife just went to bed, and I'm about to say her, "Get your ass up. Come in here, be with me." I'm scared. Kristal, no, I don't like scary, y'all.
He doesn't.
I don't like scary stuff at all. I can handle it.
I know. But yeah, those are my scary stories.
Oh, thank you for that, Kristal.
You're welcome.
And I'm glad it's done. I'm spooked.
It's not all scary. I don't know. There's this, now granted, I do not know if this is a skit. I don't, because they have a lot of different content on their TikTok. But there's a couple who say they have a ghost in their apartment. Her name is Ethel. But they are because she gave herself a name. He said he was speaking. The initial video that showed them, they had letters on their fridge, and they were talking to each other because someone had moved like some cracker box or something like that, and they're arguing with each other because he's like, "Who else moved it?" She's like, "I didn't move it." So while he's speaking, there's a letter that's going up on the fridge. It's moving, and so one of them finally notices. He looks at the letter. He's like, "Did that just move?" And the other one's like, "No, I don't think so." So they start arguing again, and then another letter moves up. And he's like, no, that definitely moved. And on the fridge, it said Ethel. So that's what they named the ghost. But they decided they were going to live with this ghost. So now they argue with Ethel because Ethel is very much a girl's girl. So when they're having an argument, like say she's like, "Honey, can you do the dishes?" The wife, "Honey, can you do the dishes?" She's like, "I don't have time to do dishes right now." The faucet will immediately turn on. And she'll be like, "See, Ethel wants you to do the dishes." And he'll be like, "Ethel, I'm not doing the dishes right now. I don't have time." And he'll shut off the water and she'll turn it right back on. And then other times they'll be arguing and you just see like something like a water bottle on the counter will start to move and he'll stop and be like, "Ethel, don't even think about it." And the bottle will move again. And he'll be like, "Ethel, I'm not doing with this with you today. Leave it alone." And then he'll be talking to his wife and they'll argue about something and the wife will be like, "Ethel, do it." And the bottle will just fly off. It's funny videos.
No, ain't nothing here cute. Because Ethel's going to misinterpret something I say to my wife one day. And next thing I know, I'm going to wake up with a goddamn knife in my abdomen. Okay? Ethel, we finna piss Ethel off one of these days.
My favorite one though is he's the guy is sitting on a couch. There's a big stuffed goose and you just see the head like move towards him and he busted out laughing and he's like, "Honey, get over here." And she's like, "What?" He was like, did she just possess the goose?" She was like, "Stop." He was like, she just possessed a goose. Like, this is ridiculous. The other people on the other side is probably making fun of her. Why is she possessing a goose? And she's like, "Stop it. She's never been a ghost before. This is her first time. Like, stop making fun of her." He's like, "We need to get a scarier vessel for her. Like, Annabelle who's doing her thing. Chucky is doing his thing. Like, our ghost cannot be a goose." Like, it's just funny to me.
I'm going to ask you this question, Kristal.
Okay.
Are these Caucasians? And that's all we needed Thank you all so much for joining us for another episode of the Tea and Crystals podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself as much as I did. Mm-hmm. Turn the lights on. Sorry, we forgot to turn the lights back on. Get your environment right, girl. Say your prayers tonight, okay? It is All Hallows Eve in just a couple of days. Get your spirit right before you go out in on the streets, okay? If you like what you heard, please leave us a 5-star review and a written review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening. If you like what you saw, make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe on YouTube. Shout out to the YouTube. If you have any questions, comments, or you would like to share your own story with us, spooky, scary stories count. It's never too late to share them with us. We can share them on our stories. We can share what you know. Please do so at teaandcrystal@gmail.com. That's TEAANDCRYSTAL at gmail.com. You can also do that in our DMs on all of our various social media platforms. Subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Facebook by searching Tea and Crystals Podcast. Follow us on TikTok at Tea and Crystals Podcast and on Instagram at Tea and Crystals Pod. Now, Kristal, is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get the hell up out of here?
Yeah, just a couple of things. One, I think we're going to link at least our scary stories into our description because we do want to give credit to the people who did write those stories. So you can find, if you want to read them yourselves or if you want to revisit them, you'll find the links in the description. And then I had another point, but I don't remember it right now. Yeah.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Be safe, you guys. Please be safe. I know it's in a few days. Have fun, get lots of candy, but most importantly, be safe. Thank you guys so much. We cannot wait to see you for our next episode. Thank you. Bye.
Bye, y'all. Enjoy your candy. Brush your teeth.